has babies and Leah's still, and I just watched it. I can't even take it.
Oh. I had to really get serious with myself and say, this is not healthy. Looking back on that.
That's Jen and Ben affectionately kissing in Ben's drive.
If you're a DC fan and have binge-watched a bunch of Justice League flicks, you're no stranger to Ben Affleck. But guess what? The latest buzz is that Ben and Jennifer Lopez are giving their romance another shot. Yup, the dynamic duo is back together and it's causing quite the stir. But here's the juicy twist. Ben's ex, Jennifer Garner, is reportedly not thrilled about this reunion. Looks like the drama isn't just confined to Gotham. Stay tuned as this love saga continues to unfold. Back in 2000, while filming Pearl Harbor, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner first crossed paths. At the time, Jennifer was married to Scott Foley. Fast forward to 2002, and they were reunited on the set of Daredevil. However, by then, Ben was still in a relationship with Jennifer Lopez. But here's where it gets juicy. Ben later confessed that he fell head over heels for Jennifer Garner during the Daredevil shoot. In a candid Playboy interview, he admitted, "That's where I found my wife," he said. "We met on Pearl Harbor, which people hate, but we fell in love on Daredevil. I sunk into a morass," he said of his career. "My wife was definitely around then. Getting to know her, falling in love with her, and being connected with her gave me a foundation to reach out and say, okay, I'm going to do Hollywoodland. I'm going to direct Gone Baby Gone." Those were the steps forward I needed to put positive stuff on the board. In January 2003, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner made a notable appearance on Dinner for Five. Even though they were both in separate relationships at the time, eagle-eyed viewers couldn't help but notice the undeniable spark between them. It was clear that the chemistry between these two was more than just friendly. In March of that same year, Jennifer Garner and Scott Foley decided to go their separate ways. Jennifer made it clear to her fans and the public that the split wasn't due to anyone else. After Jennifer Garner and Scott Foley went their separate ways, Jennifer officially filed for divorce. In a 2013 interview, she reflected on their relationship, admitting that it was doomed from the start. While she described Scott as a good person, she conceded that their connection simply wasn't meant to be. Meanwhile, Ben Affleck's romance with Jennifer Lopez didn't last as long as fans had hoped. About a year later, the couple called it quits. Fast forward years later, Jennifer Lopez opened up in a Vanity Fair interview, revealing, "I was eviscerated," JLos said about the press she received during the movie. "I lost my sense of self, questioned if I belonged in this business, thought maybe I did suck at everything. And my relationship with Affleck self-destructed in front of the entire world. It was a 2-year thing for me until I picked myself up again." But Jen believes that she ruined her family. People thought Ben always looked miserable and depressed around JLo, barely even bothering to fake a smile on the red carpet. But if you thought JLo would just walk away and move on, think again. The diva's out for revenge and is reportedly going after Ben's fortune, demanding half of everything he owns. Sources close to JLo say Ben was basically living off her during their brief marriage, and she was covering all the costs for their lavish lifestyle. But the real deal is, JLo's decision to chase Ben's money isn't just because she felt he was a moocher. She's actually furious that Ben's back with Jen Garner, especially since JLo put in a lot of effort to keep them apart. Sure, JLo never openly badmouthed Jen Garner, always saying they were one big, happy blended family. But if you've been keeping up, you've noticed JLo's been throwing subtle shade at Jen Garner ever since she got back with Ben in early 2021. Even in her new documentary, ironically called The Greatest Love Story Never Told, JLo couldn't resist taking petty jabs at Jen, hinting that Ben was daydreaming about JLo throughout his marriage with Jen. Fans quickly called her out for this, pointing out that it's a low blow to talk about your husband's ex, especially when Jen and Ben have 3 kids together. Claiming in her movie that their dad never loved their mom and was secretly hoping to marry JLo. That's just harsh. But wait, there's more. Sources close to Jen Garner are saying that JLo allegedly tried to undermine Garner's parenting whenever her kids were around. Reportedly, JLo would go against Garner's rules and boundaries with the kids. And now, on top of all this, JLo wants to take half of Ben's money, the money he might have been planning to leave to his children. It's really hitting a new low for JLo. And fans who were already turning against her for other reasons are now saying she's truly showing her true colors with this move. One person wrote, "Everyone warned her not to make the movie. Now she needs to accept things and move on. So she feels humiliated. Please just grow up." Another one added, "Jen, save your dignity and move on. Ben need to heal himself before he can have a healthy relationship. Lessons are hard, but you both can get through. Step back and breathe." Jen and Ben initially called it quits in 2003 before reuniting 20 years later. As for what caused their breakup back in 2003, Ben revealed that the relentless public scrutiny took its toll on their relationship. However, he later learned to adapt for the new chapter in their love story once they reconnected. He even expressed this sentiment on Jennifer's 2024 documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, emphasizing the significance of their reunion. Getting back together, I said, "Listen, one of the things I don't want is a relationship on social media." And then I realized it's not a very fair thing to ask, he admitted. It's like you're going to marry a boat captain and you go, "Well, I don't like the water." You know? We're just two people with different approaches trying to learn to compromise. Maybe Ben never quite acclimated to having his love life under the public microscope, as it seems that this aspect significantly strained their marriage. There's even a scene from the documentary where Ben appears noticeably uncomfortable with JLo sharing details of their old love letters with her friends and colleagues. Adding fuel to the fire, there are allegations that JLo pressured Ben to maintain a certain image, which eventually led to frustration on his part. Apparently, JLo had convinced him that it's common practice in Hollywood for people to undergo a bit of facial maintenance, including his close friends like Matt Damon. Additionally, many speculate that since they haven't been photographed together since March, the divorce might be related to Jen's involvement in Diddy's case. Around March, rumors circulated that Jen was implicated in some of the crimes, particularly concerning the incident where Natanya Rubin, who was deeply involved, was injured. She has expressed her desire to have the bullet fragments removed from her face for ballistics evidence, indicating her willingness to reopen the case. "I'm willing to have a doctor remove a part of the 9mm bullet in my face so that they can use it as evidence if need be for this trial," Rubin said on News Nation's Elizabeth Vargas Reports. Even if it means risking her life, Nathan also claimed that JLo outright lied to the jury, suggesting that she should be investigated alongside Diddy. If you've been keeping up, JLo's been quite a mess lately, apart from the Diddy scandal.
We all had to go and speak at the branch. JLo testified at the...
She's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons, from her struggling projects to controversies like the Bronx orange drink debacle. And let's not forget the incident where she was caught on camera spinning chewing gum into her assistant's hand in the middle of New York City. Moreover, she's been called out for allegedly mistreating her staff, with fans noting a pattern in the narratives of those who've worked for her. Furthermore, she's been trending again for appropriating Black culture while neglecting to acknowledge the Black artists behind the success of her music. It's hard to ignore the mounting evidence that something's not quite right in JLo's world.
I think the problem with Jenny from the Block is that they cut my laugh and they kept ad-libs and they turned her vocals like all the way down. And
so people are saying that if this is the attitude JLo brings into her marriage, there's no way it could have lasted. However, there have also been reports suggesting that JLo and Ben aren't ready to throw in the towel just yet and might decide to work on their marriage. Ben believes in therapy, to a point, and is willing to be a good sport about participating with an open mind, even though he hates the whole humiliating process, a source reveals to In Touch. He's never going to gauge the success of this marriage by what happens in the therapist's office. He also has a higher tolerance for conflict and having to fight to get his way than the average guy. It somehow makes sense that with such activities, she is making negative impacts on Garner's kids. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.